Hey everyone, welcome to the next training module or next training chapter on understanding ad sets. If you've been in Facebook Ads Manager before, I'm sure you know what an ad set is. I just want to go over just a few things real quick. So as you can see, we're in Facebook Business Manager. Again, this is an old account that I use for my business. I have several campaigns set up here. This is all of my campaigns, and then if you click over the ad sets, these are all of the ad sets for all of the campaigns, and then if you click over the ads. So we're just gonna focus on this ad set tab for this video. However, because I just wanna select a couple ad sets from one specific campaign, I need to go back to the campaign tab and select a campaign. So I'm just gonna select this one down here, Women Business Owner. I'm not really sure, okay. So within that one campaign of women business owners, I can see that within that one campaign, I have two different ad sets. And now because I used the campaign budget, these two ad sets are sharing one budget. Right now there's two options. You can elect to have a budget for each campaign where all of the ad sets within that campaign share the budget. And previously, you could set a budget for each ad set. I could set a $10 a day budget for this one and a $10 a day budget for this one. However, if they haven't already, Facebook is going to migrate to the campaign budget type, where you won't have an option to select a budget for each one of these ad sets. You will only have the option to select the budget for the campaign itself. And how you get to that is in the last video we went over the campaigns, but we didn't go too far into creating a campaign. We're gonna do that in another video. However, you can see down here I was using the traffic campaign, and then campaign budget optimization was selected. I can turn this off, and then that way each ad group has its own budget, or I leave it on. Even before Facebook decided that this was going to be the only option soon, I was selecting this option anyway, and so were a lot of other advertisers, just because it allows Facebook to decide how to allocate your budget, which ad group to allocate your budget based on which one they think would perform the best. Excuse me, allergies are going crazy here. So even before Facebook has decided to make this a permanent change in a couple months, I don't think they have already, obviously, because you can still turn it off, we were doing this anyway. So when you go to create your campaign, and we'll do this in another module, we're going to select the campaign budget optimization, and we're just going to set a daily budget for the campaign total and let Facebook figure out where to put that, which ad group to put that. Sometimes they divide it up equally, sometimes they used, if I was doing $50 a day, sometimes they would do $40 a day towards one ad group and $10 a day towards the other one, because they thought the one that they were putting $40 a day in was going to outperform the other one. So they used more budget for that one. So I'm going to X out of this. I just wanted to kind of explain what was going on there for each budget. So, but right now you do have the option if you want to select, to have each ad group have their own budget. Which the advantage of that is, if you want these, if you're trying to run a split test, an A/B test as we call it, between two different audiences, and you want them to have equal budget because you really want to see which one performs better, then in that case, using the ad set budget, setting the budget at an ad set level is better, because this one gets 25 a day and this one gets 25 a day. Facebook doesn't have the option to give this one 40 a day and this one 10 a day. But I think nowadays in 2022, Facebook does a really good job of figuring out, based on their algorithm, what's going to perform better and what's going to get you the most traffic and conversions. So whereas years ago we weren't really sure, now we just kind of leave it up to Facebook, because they do a good job of trying to figure out which one's going to perform better. So I've selected this campaign, Women Business Owners, and when I click on the link, don't click on View Charts, Edit, or Duplicate. If I just click on the link, I can see the ad sets for that campaign specifically. Within each ad set, I'm not going to create a new ad set. I'm just going to go to Edit to show you what is in the ad set. So I don't quite remember what is in this. Oops. I don't quite remember what's in this ad set, so we're going to find out. The ad set name, I have named it the age of the person I was targeting, 30 to 55. And WWUS. I believe within the US, I was targeting women in the US. I think I was just targeting women in the US. I just named it who I was targeting and in what location. You are welcome, obviously, to name your ad sets whatever you want, but I try to name them something that I know exactly who I'm targeting without even having to go into the ad set to look. I believe this one's women 30 to 55. I was using Done For You services, which is what the ad is about. Done For You services, and then I think this one I was just naming women in the US. But let's go back in. So I would name it the age range that you're targeting, put a line or a dash, and then try to name it something shortened having to do with the audience. So traffic we're sending to the website. You can't change this. I believe this is automatically, or I know this is automatically selected based on your campaign type. If we were, sending people to our app to download it, remember in the campaign types video, we were talking about the different campaign types. If I want people to download an app, this option would be selected. If I was using the Messenger option where I wanted to talk to people, it would either be Messenger or WhatsApp. And if I wanted people to call, then this would be selected. So based on your campaign type, and you should test a few different options, one of these would be selected, and I don't think there's an option to change them. So your budget and schedule, unless you're running a test, I would not change this. I would just let your ads run continuously. Also, if you're running an event, say you have an open house next Friday and you want to run ads to get people to attend that open house, but you're really busy, so you don't know if you're going to be able to check on these, then you can set an end date because you have a specific event. You obviously don't want to run the ads to an open house that's going to end on Friday. You don't want those ads to be running the following Tuesday because then, there's no event. People are going to look at it and be like, what the heck? So you can set an end date if you have a specific event. But if these are ads that you're just going to run continuously to try to get tours or enrollments or anything like that, just leave it running. And chances are you're going to be in here, or you should be in your ads manager every day, at least every other day, checking in and making sure things are running properly and you're not going over budget or anything like that. So leave it running continuously unless you have a specific event. If you click show more options, ad spend limits are optional. We don't have any selected, but if you click on edit, you can see ad spend limits. Sometimes Facebook will spend a little bit more than what you set as your budget if they think that spending that additional amount will get you traffic or conversions. However, they will not spend more than your monthly amount. So say you have your budget set at $10 a day on the campaign level. That's $300 a month. Facebook is not going to spend $300 a month. They're not going to spend more, than $300 a month. But one day they might spend $20. One day they might spend $40. The good thing about that is Facebook is typically pretty good about overspending when they think more of your audience is online and they think your ads are going to convert. The bad thing about that is because they're not going to go over your monthly amount, some days they might spend $0 because they don't want to exceed that $300 per month maximum. So setting ad spend limits is really good if you want to make sure that Facebook does not spend more than that maximum. And I would probably use that option. We don't use it a lot of times because our clients are pretty flexible on budget. Some of ours are spending hundreds or thousands of dollars a day, so they typically don't care if it spends, a little bit more per day. But if you're only able to spend $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 a day, then go ahead and set a maximum and just see. There's no harm in testing that out. audience, this is where we're going to put in the audience. And I'm not going to go over this too much because I will be creating a separate training video on this. But your locations, United States. For me, I was targeting all the United States. For you guys, since you are location specific, you are only going to be targeting one city. And sorry about the lights. I guess I wasn't moving around enough and the lights just came off in here, but hopefully you can still see me and just watch the screen instead. But yeah, so you're just going to be targeting your city, most likely, or surrounding cities. It depends on what your location is. Age, obviously the age that you're going to be targeting. Gender, the interests and demographics. Again, we'll go over this later on. Languages, just leave it all languages. Show more options. Oops. Placements. I don't have another video on placements specifically, but I will just say leave it on automatic. Manual lets you choose, I only want to show on the Facebook feed and Instagram. I don't want to show on the right-hand side of the page or on articles or anything like that. Years ago, we used to select manual placements and choose where we wanted our ads to show. Years ago, when we used to we would leave off in-stream, we would leave off Reels overlay, we would leave off a lot of these because we just found that they were a waste of money. But now, again, 2022, Facebook has gotten a little bit smarter. They use algorithms to figure out where people are. We don't do that anymore. We leave it on automatic placements because Facebook does a pretty good job of figuring out where our audience is, where they're spending time, and where they're most likely to click. Facebook is not going to show your ad 1,000 times on the right side of the page if no one's clicking over there. So don't worry about, if there's ad spend that's wasted. I think I looked on one of our accounts a couple days ago to see how much money we were wasting on placements that nobody was clicking on, and it was only a couple dollars. And this account was spending, I think, like $2,500 a day, and it was like $4 a day was wasted on that right side. But I just leave it automatic. Like I said, Facebook does a pretty good job of filtering out and they do a good job of showing your ad where they think your audience is. So there's no need to select the manual placements anymore and try to, remove ones that we think are bad. Leave it at automatic. If you click on show more options, it gives you a little bit more information here. Brand safety, prevent your ads from appearing within alongside content that's not conducive to your brand. And brand safety controls is in your Business Manager main platform. That's one of the options that you can select over on the left-hand side. Inventory filter, again, I would leave this, but if you hover over it, says on Facebook, filters exclude certain types of videos and articles. On the Audience Network, which is their network of related websites that show your ad within an article. Filters also exclude certain types of apps. And on Instagram, filters exclude certain types of videos. You can play around with this if you want to, but again, just leave it because Facebook will do a pretty good job of not showing posts related to schools on anything that's, has bad language or, pornography or, anything that might be like sensitive content. They're not going to show your ad there because they know what your content is about. So they're not going to go and show it on articles or on audience networks that don't quite match what your demographic is. But that's just so you can see what it is. If you want to click hide options, feel free to play around with these things. This is your ad account, but I'll be recording another video on best practices where I'll be going back over a lot of these things. Like I said, just leave them alone. Look at the options, but Facebook does a pretty good job of filtering out and placing your ads where they think are going to convert. Optimization and delivery. Optimization is Facebook is trying to get you link clicks. They're trying to get clicks to your website because I've used the traffic objective. So along with that is link clicks is already selected. If you wanted to change it, it's not letting me change it, but when you go to create a new ad set, it will let you change it. Again, leave it alone. Bid strategy, cost control, if you hover over it. Setting a cost control works if you have a specific cost goal. If you don't set one, Facebook's ad system will focus on spending your entire budget and getting the most results. if you don't want to spend more than, let's say $5 on a lead or a click, set that here. I wouldn't, because again, Facebook is pretty good about optimizing your budget on its own. If you set a limit, that limits Facebook and that limits the algorithm on what Facebook can do. Cost control is sometimes good if you're spending, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a day. But if you're only able to spend, $5, $10, $15, $20 a day, and you're setting a cost control, that's very limiting, and you're not going to get a lot of results. So leave these alone. If you click on the show more options, when you get charged per impression, leave that alone. I think it's the best option, but you can also choose to get charged every time someone clicks on your link. Right now, Facebook is charging you per impression because they're showing your ad to the most people possible that they think are going to be interested in your ad. And I think you're getting charged per 1,000 impressions. But if you don't have a very big audience, as you can see over here, when you select your audiences, it's going to show you an approximate audience size. If you only have, 500 to 1,000 people, and that chances are you'll have more than that. But if you only have a small number of people, then go ahead and try the link click option here and see what that does. But I wouldn't mess around. The options that are selected are the best options based on what your campaign objective is. So just be mindful that when you mess around with these options too much, it just limits Facebook and what they can do. And then you'll see over here the audience definition based on what you've chosen, the age range, the gender, and the detailed targeting. You can see the estimated audience size here, and then it's green. So we're in the sweet spot. We're not too specific and we're not too broad. We're in the sweet spot here. Again, remember that these are estimates. This is not exact. This is basically what Facebook thinks we're going to get based on our budget and based on the audiences that we've selected. So as you can see over here on the left-hand side, this women business owner, this is the campaign. This folder is the campaign. These 4 squares is the ad group, and it's highlighted. This is the ad group that we're working on right now. And then these little tabs are the ads. We're going to go over ads in another video. But if we remember in the campaign, I had 2 ad groups. This is the other ad group. If I want to just jump over quickly to the other ad group, instead of clicking the X and then clicking again, I can just click on the other ad group over here. And then it gives you all the same options. So if you just want to make some changes to the ad groups alone, then go ahead and you can click back and forth for the options on the left-hand side. So that is an overview of the ad groups. Let me know if you guys have any questions in our next Q&A call, and I'll see you in the next training.